Thank you, Michael. Really liked the mindset in the last 10 minutes of the game. I thought it was, you could see the guys still wanted to push. It wasn't about holding on to the 1-0. It was about getting aggressive. As they moved to a back four, we had more space, and I liked that the guys wanted to attack it. Even Christopher comes on and just trying to get forward, Brendan trying to get forward, Malik, and Ricardo. So I think that was really good. The solutions made an impact in this game. The other person I'd love to single out is Matt Turner. I thought he made the saves when he needed to make it. Particularly that one-on-one was an amazing save, and that's why he's playing at the level that he's playing. I think we use this game as a learning tool. How Uzbekistan competes, how they go in for everything, how they leave their bodies in, and it shows us that we can improve and we need to improve, and we will. But I think that it's a good baseline for us to start and say, okay, this is what international competition from other regions looks like, and so that we'll use as we go. One thing to note is, happy with the 3 goals. Obviously, they had a man down when we scored the last 2, but Uzbekistan doesn't concede goals. I think they conceded maybe 6 all year last year, and with the back 5-4-1, they're very difficult to break down. So happy with that part.
We'll start with questions in the room and begin with Stephen Goff from the Washington Post.
Greg obviously got off to a very strong start with Tim's goal, and obviously the finish put the game away. How would you assess some of those middle segments of the match where they did have some chances and there were some mistakes?
Yeah, I think that a couple things. So we gave the ball away in some tough spots. That was the first thing. The second thing is when we were building and we were methodical about our build, trying to attract the opponent, I thought then we lacked the speeding up the attack once we broke through that front 5, and that could have been better. Back 5 is always difficult to break down, and you saw that they just drop, and we wanted to get behind them. We didn't do that often enough. And then the other thing that I'd note is that our press after loss, defensive transition, needs to get better. I think we gave them too many opportunities to get behind us when we could have been positioned better to win the ball immediately after we lost it.
Jeff Carlisle from ESPN FC.
Hi, Greg. What did you make of Flo's performance today? Because it certainly seemed like maybe he was a little bit frustrated trying to get the ball, and the team seemed to kind of struggle to get him as well.
Yeah, again, playing against 3 center backs is difficult. I think he had maybe one chance first half. A couple dribbles, but he got closed down quickly. He had a couple shots that were blocked. And he's getting into his rhythm. He didn't have a preseason, didn't have a full preseason. He's going to be just fine. I think sometimes when you tell players that they're going to be off at halftime, maybe it affects them a little bit. But I think he's going to be in good shape. For us, the key for him is going to be how do we activate him behind the back line. He's very good, even small movements around the penalty box where we need to be looking for him.
Paul Tenoria from The Athletic.
Greg, when you're playing against a team that does seem to want to slow the game down as much as they can and drop deep, how do you get the team to kind of maybe try to push the tempo and not get kind of pulled into the slower rhythms to try to break that down?
I don't really mind the slower rhythm. As long as it's intentional, and then as long as there's a change of pace when we're in the attacking area. So if we had to take our time to draw out their defense and then find someone, once we break their top 5, then we need to speed up the attack. We need to have numbers getting forward. We need numbers entering the penalty box. We need runs behind the back line. And I thought that's what we lacked. That, we were at times it was really nice. We broke through them, and then we didn't speed it up quick enough.
I wanted to get your thoughts on Tim Ream's play there. A lot to do on the back line.
Yeah, Tim's. I really liked a couple times he stepped up and won the ball in transition moments. He gives a 7, 8 out of 10 every time he plays, basically. So we're really happy with him. Really happy with his experience, his leadership, We named him captain today for a reason, and the reason is because he's an example. We have young kids. We have 18-year-olds on the team, and if they can just look at Tim Ream and look at how he carries himself and his whole career, right? I think he's a shining example of a guy, great character, and consummate professional.
In the back.
Greg over here, Adán Manzano for Telemundo San Luis. Just a couple of questions, if I ask. First of all, how it felt for you personally to be back in the bench leading the team, and about Ricardo Pepi, he scored a goal in the last few minutes. How different do you see him from the last before the World Cup, and how do you think has been his improvement with this process in Europe now?
He's much more confident now, which is great. I think he uses his body better now, looking to link up. I think he did a good job when he came in. We're happy with him. Like all the players, there are moments where it could have been better, but overall had a good understanding of the defensive work that needed to be done, and it's great to see him confident and playing at a good level. Oh yeah, it was nice. I mean, again, at the anthem, you reflect on it a little bit that you're back, and then it's back to work, and you're on the sidelines, and you're coaching, trying to help the team win a game.
We'll go to questions from Zoom and start with Charlie Boehm from MLSsoccer.com.
Hi, Greg, can you hear me?
I can. Hey, Charlie.
Thanks. So I don't want to get bogged down in formations, but can you talk about how you set the team out and what was different compared to the way the team played over the summer with more of a 4-2-3-1? And did you get data points as to what's working maybe and what isn't there?
It was just based on the opponent. They had a 5-4-1. Sometimes their wingers moved a little bit higher to make it like a 5-2-3. And we set up in a way that we thought we could hurt them and draw them out of position. Again, like playing against a back five is always difficult.
Next will be Will Clark.
Hey Greg, I appreciate the time. I'm going to go a little bit more analytical with this one, so bear with me.
Okay.
You mentioned earlier we need to use this game as a learning tool. I noticed multiple times during the match, especially during the first match, you and BJ on the laptop looking at various things, and I know you can't disclose everything strategically here, but from a coach perspective, can you talk through what you're looking at in those moments and just how as a coach that aids in your ability to make adjustments during play, and maybe if there's anything specifically in one of those moments tonight that you identified something and made an adjustment?
Yeah, I mean, what I'd say is we're looking at the video. We're not looking at data. And in the video, in the first half, there are moments where we saw one of the center mids being very aggressive, stepping up to our central midfielder, and we just moved another central midfielder down so it would create doubt amongst them, and then open up space behind that midfield line. So, a couple times you'll see Luka and Eunice right next to each other, and they were easily able to break free from that one player.
We'll go to Kyle Bond.
Thanks, Coach, for your time. Really appreciate it.
Hey, Kyle.
With Luka's injury and only missing a couple of first-choice midfielders, do you have an idea what you might do in the next game? Just if you might look to maybe add a replacement, or if guys like Ben Akramowski might be able to step in and get some time there.
Yeah, that's a good question. We're going to have to figure that out after speaking to the medical staff. I'm not sure he's ruled out for next game, but we'll have to get that information as the day unfolds. But we have guys. Tanner played today, did a good job, and we have other guys that can come in and step in if we need to.